Many, many years ago, in one remote village, there lived a girl that loved to spin. She spent most of her time spinning yarn, and soon she was known as the best spinner in her village. It was also in that village an old tradition was alive, and the tradition said that a young and married woman would spend their 18th year spinning the yarn into a ball, and on the solstice night in the summer they would come out and throw the ball as far as they could see and let it roll and roll and roll, allowing the Mother Earth to take it and show the road to their beloved. And this story finds us in the exact year when it was girl's turn. With love and song, she spent her days and nights spinning the most beautiful yarn, preparing finally find the road to her beloved. But the girl also had a kitten. He always played around her when she was spinning. He loved different colorful yarns and the songs that she sang. And so one night, right before the solstice, the kitten got into the basket of yarn, picked up the biggest ball he could see and threw it high in the air. And what he didn't know, that ball was the path to the beloved. And the ball went so high in the air that it hit the wall and then the door and ran out all the way outside it. The kitten jumped up, and the girl turned to him, and seeing what has happened, she threw her arms in the air and ran outside of her house. And no matter how much she tried to catch the thread, she couldn't quite grasp it, and the ball kept rolling and rolling, rolling and rolling. She ran all night through the forests and the mountains and the meadows. She crossed the rivers and the lakes, and soon there was the end of the thread that she could see, and a thread pointed right at the sun. The sun was golden, shining bright yellow, with slight rutilant flavor to it, and the soft warm light was rolling all around it, awakening the land from the dark embrace of the night. She gasped, looking at him. How magnificently beautiful! Beloved, she cried out and stretched her arms towards the sun. You are my beloved. And the sun smiled and casted his warm rays towards her skin and face, and wrapping her in the beautiful light and softness of his infinite love. Hello, my bride, the sun has spoken. Here we are, together. And the girl returned to the village, speaking of her beloved. But all her sisters laughed. How can you be a bride of the sun? They said. You need a real man. How will the sun build you a hut and bring you children? How would he hunt for you? How would he make a spinning wheel for you? But the girl didn't care. She was so deeply in love with her beloved. Nothing that they said was important to her anymore. We will make it by, she said. We will make it by. The girl gathered all her prized possessions, her spinning wheel, her kitten, and she left to be with her beloved, right on the edge where she met him. She spent her days bathing in the warm rays of her beloved, praising his beauty. She sang songs with birds. She bowed with daisies towards him, and she allowed her entire body be devoured by his infinite warmth and heat. But even in her devotion, Over time she grew sad, and Sun saw that. "My beloved, what is the matter?" he asked her. And she told him how much she loved to spin, and that now she had no yarn, for she spent her days devoted to praising him, and that her entire being and her hands grew sad, and that her spinning wheel started to squeak, and that her kitten had nothing to play with. And the Sun loved his bride as much as she did him, and seeing her longing, he stretched his arms and gave her one of the brightest rays he had. "Take it," he said. "Let that be your thread. Spin that." "But beloved," the girl said, "will you not become less if I spin off your body?" The Sun smiled. "With your love, I am infinite," he said. And the girl got to work, and she started to spin the golden thread straight from the heart of the Sun, delicately twisting it between her fingers. She tended to the thread with such delicacy and love, for she knew it was part of her beloved, and as she took the light and spun it into a thread, she enriched it with her prayers and her love and her devotion towards the loved one. And so sweet her song was that the birds started to sing it, and soon it reached her village, and all the women recognized it. It was the sweet sound that touched their hearts and reminded them of their own innocence and belonging to the Sun. And soon all the men were touched by the song too. It reminded them of the sweet softness and the bright power that shines deep within them. And many say she still sits there on the edge, singing songs and spinning the golden thread. And it's said that over the years she became unseen, part wind, part mountain, part grass, part whispers in the trees, and part the Sun himself, the Sun herself. And many still hear the song that she sings, and sometimes some choose to follow it and find the way to the edge. And there they see the Sun, and if they're lucky enough, just as they look around or get ready to leave, a ball of golden thread might be thrown in front of them, for the kitten still loves to play, and now he knows those that need to receive it, those that need to find their way to the beloved.